The biggest concern that we see with many customers is after they've built all of this capability and they've been able to visualize it, they haven't been able perhaps to do as much effort with it because they need a more compelling visualization. So to do that, I'm going to actually flip back over to my sheet here where I've got a map of all of these items, including the data within here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build a Power Map to be able to show off the information that's contained within here. So Power Map is a separate plugin that you have to enable within the environment. What it will actually go do is look at all of the data that you have within your existing system. So if you notice here within this existing workbook, I've got a lot of data that's contained around addresses and close date and the like. And so when I launch Power Map, it'll actually come through and look at all of the different types of information that I have within it to be able to give me a single point of view for how that data is actually pulling up, which in turn will allow me to go back and then say, oh, I can look at the specific items that are contained within it. Because when you flip over to this sheet here, this is a great way of viewing what the data looks like from a salesperson perspective. I don't really have a great way of visualizing what it looks like from an actual geographical level. Whoops. And of course, always helps to be able to get your items within here. Put this over to this side. So I will come back to Power Map in an instant. While I'm doing that, I'm actually going to go ahead and flip into the next side of the Office 365 side, because for me, one of the biggest differences with the Power BI model is that even though you may have a great series of information that's contained, if you're not able to share it with others, if you're stuck saying, okay, I have a lot of this information, but it's sitting on our CFO's desk, or it's sitting on the HR individual, the director of HR's specific file share, that can be a big challenge for individuals. And that's where the Office 365 sites component comes in. So what is Power BI in Office 365? It's a couple of different components. The first is the sharing component. So that former situation I described a minute ago, where you got stuff on Excel worksheets, on USB drives, on file servers, even in SharePoint sites, by having all of those be disparate sites, it's tough to get all the information in one single location. And that's where a Power BI site with 365 really lights up. So these sites are centrally stored. They're tied to 365 tenancies. You can add and remove data sources to them, so you can make sure that they're going to have the information contained within those Excel sheets. I can easily upload them and share them with others. It also has the ability to connect into your on-prem sources. So I showed you earlier within the Power Query plugin that you could actually hook into a SQL server or an Access database or even an Azure SQL instance. With Power BI sites, you can set up a data connector to actually act as a gateway between your existing on-premises data sources, whether it be a SQL server or a Access database, you name it, that can connect into the data gateway service, which will then take that data and surface it to an Office 365 Power BI site. So in the past, I might have had to say, hey, John Lamb, our CFO, where is that SQL server or where is that table that has that financial information? Because it's living on premises, I would have to actually poke around and find out which SQL server is hosting it, where is the database, what specific table. With Power BI sites, as you'll see in a minute, it will actually do that discovery itself as long as you've connected that data gateway service to it.